this is my Instagram page. Let me go to share here. So this is my Instagram page, has pictures of cakes kind of in real time. Usually as soon as they're picked up, I publish a picture of each cake that I'm doing. So that one was for a styled wedding shoot a few weeks ago that I did, kind of a boho themed wedding. I've been doing lots and lots of birthdays and graduations and that sort of thing lately. Just that's the time of year that it is. So lots of those. And then the other site that you can look at is my website, which is cakesbyblythe.com. That's the landing page right there. Here's some more information about me. One of the things that I should mention is that as a home-based business, I'm a totally legal business. Idaho allows what's called cottage bakeries, which mean that they can operate out of people's homes. They don't have to be inspected by the health department. Nobody comes into my home and inspects it. However, all of my recipes have to be approved by the health department as being non-potentially hazardous, meaning that they don't require refrigeration. And if you want something that does require refrigeration, it has to be made in a certified kitchen. So that's my landing page. And then I have I have more pictures of cakes here, birthday cakes, things like that. My gallery of weddings here. And then if you are interested in what different flavors I offer, that's going to be there. My pricing info is here. Pricing info is very basic. Each cake is priced on a case-by-case basis depending on how many servings, the flavors, the level of design, whether or not you need delivery, etc. And then this is the way to contact me. You can just send me this and it fills out the form. You can also send me a message on Instagram or now I'm lost. There we go. Okay, there we go. So I'm wondering if anyone watching has any questions for me or a request for more information. Like I said, the easiest way to contact me is either through my website or through Facebook, but I also respond to emails and texts and Instagram messages, etc.
Okay, we do have a question. Do you do gluten-free cakes?
I can do gluten-free. Obviously, my kitchen is not gluten-free, so it wouldn't be good for somebody with celiac or something like that. There is always a risk of cross-contamination in my kitchen just because I do other cakes that are not gluten-free.
Do we have any other questions from attendees? Okay. Blythe, do you want to give your contact information or website address?
Sure. My website is cakesbyblythe.com. It's BLYTHE. Instagram and Facebook are under the same handles at Cakes by Blythe. Again, I'm located in Northwest Meridian near Rocky Mountain High School. Best way to contact me is either through my website or through Facebook, or you can text. Telephone number is 208-559-6180. If you want to shoot me a message that way, that works too. I'm trying to think of what else I can tell you about my business. Like I said, I've been in business about 4 years. In that time, I've never sat down and calculated it precisely, but I average somewhere between 5 and 10 cakes a week. That doesn't include wedding cakes. I usually try to only take on 2 to 3 wedding cakes a week, just depending on the level of difficulty of those cakes. Sometimes I'll take more if they're fairly simple, but I want to make sure that everyone gets the time and attention that they need. And so I don't overbook myself with weddings. If I think that somebody's cake is going to be more elaborate, more detailed, just need more time or attention. So shouldn't have to worry about that, you know, having issues with competing with other brides for my time every week or every weekend.
Okay, Blythe, we've got a couple questions. Can you please repeat your number? one more time?
Sure. Telephone number is 208-559-6180.
Okay, and then a question, can we sample your cakes?
Yes, I do perform cake consultations. Generally, when we're not under quarantine, I allow people into my home and we sit down and do a tasting, and then usually about a 30 to 45-minute consultation. I do charge $25 for consultations. However, if you book your cake with me, then that money is taken off the top of your order. So you're not out that money. Currently, I'm not doing in-home consultations just because of quarantine and stay-at-home orders, et cetera, et cetera. But what I can do is, if you're interested in tasting now or in the next little while here, I can set up a tasting box for you, and then we can conduct a consultation either over Zoom or via email or text or however you're comfortable.
Do we have any other questions for Blythe?
You can go look at my website some more.
Oh, we do have a question. Do you do cupcakes?
Yes, I do cupcakes. Sorry, I'm still fiddling with my screen share here. Cupcakes start at $25 a dozen, and that's for a basic iced cupcake. And then depending on what you're looking for, the pricing goes up from there. And I can do cupcakes in any flavor that I do my regular layer cakes, and those are all listed on my website as well. So on my website, down under pricing, you'll see pricing for cupcakes. I also do cake pops, full dessert bars of cookies, brownies. I make a mean salted caramel Rice Krispie treat, any of that. And those prices are available by request. So if you're interested in doing a buffet type setup for your wedding, just let me know and I can give you pricing for anything. Also, if there's flavors that you're looking at on my list that you don't see that you're interested in, let me know. Usually I can, these are my basic offerings. But if there's something that's not on the list that you want, let me know and we can figure something out. So I'm going to go back to my wedding cake gallery. And I'm just going to page through here because there's lots of different examples. The most popular ones right now still currently are the semi-naked cakes, and I have a lot of those, and lots of the drip and rustic icing type style of cake. And almost all of these are fresh flowers, although I can also provide sugar flowers as well. These here are sugar flowers. Also, these are all sugar flowers as well. So there's a setup right there with lots of cupcakes. I think this wedding had 200 cupcakes as well as their little cutting cake. And then the boots on top are made out of gum paste. So those are also edible. Are there any other questions?
Yes, we have another question. Is there an extra charge for a gluten-free cake?
Not usually. It kind of depends on what you're asking for. Generally, on my base pricing, no, there's no extra charge for gluten-free. I'm racking my brain trying to think of things that brides ask me when they come to their consultations with me, and of course, drawing a total blank. Let's see. Oh, wedding cake servings. A lot of people are surprised at the way wedding cakes are priced. Generally, wedding cakes are priced by the slice. And a wedding cake serving, the industry standard is a 1 inch by 2 inch by 4 inch slice. So if you can imagine what that looks like, it's not a huge piece of cake, but it's not tiny. So generally brides want to know how much cake they need to order for their wedding in general. And I usually tell them to order between 85 and 90% of their guests, of the number of guests that they're going to have. There are always going to be people that don't eat cake and there are always going to be people that eat 2 or 3 pieces of cake. So you want to make sure that you have enough. I generally tend to err on the side of having more than enough rather than not enough. And that's sometimes a tricky balance, but I will work with you to figure out exactly what your needs are in that regard. The other thing that's listed on my flavors tab on my website is fillings as well as flavors of cake. And if you're not sure what goes together, you just have to ask me and I can usually give you a good hint. Currently, my best seller is my almond cake with either lemon or raspberry filling. And the almond cake is just a sweet, it doesn't have any actual almonds in the batter, like no chopped nuts or anything, but it just has that sweetness of the almond with a fruit filling, and it's good.
We have one more question.
Okay.
Can you do cake pops gluten-free?
Yes, I absolutely can. And again, my kitchen is not gluten-free, so anyone that has a real allergy probably needs to avoid ordering with me just because I don't have a gluten-free kitchen. But if your sensitivity is not drastic and you're not worried about cross-contamination, then I absolutely can. It's hard to fill 20 minutes.
All right. We have a statement that cross-contamination is fine. So.
Oh, okay, great. Good.
So yeah, we've got about 4 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just pull up your website again so folks can see that link,
Okay.
and then contact information again.
Okay, so website is here, cakesbyblythe.com. I'll go back down to the landing page. Oh, my computer is being so funky. Maybe I'll go back to the landing page. We'll see. Actually, we'll just do it this way. So that's it, cakesbyblythe.com. And again, I'm located in Northwest Meridian. I am a home bakery, so anything is done by appointment, and everything that I make is custom. And then my Instagram, same handle, Cakes by Blythe. Tons and tons of pictures. I think I've been updating my Instagram for about 4 or 5 years, and it gets gets updated pretty much real time. So as I finish a cake and it leaves my house, it goes up on the site. And then contact information, it can be reached either through Instagram or Facebook, through my webpage, or by phone. My telephone number is area code 208-559-6180. And yeah, any way you can contact me through my website or Instagram or Facebook, all at cakesbyblythe.com.
All right, we'll just leave you on for a couple more minutes.
Okay.
If anybody pops up with questions.
Okay. See, we've added a couple of people. We'll see if anybody has any questions that they missed.
So maybe again, I'll introduce you. This is Blythe with Cakes by Blythe. And then if you want to go in maybe your website again. So
okay. Website is cakesbyblythe.com, BLYTHE. Facebook and Instagram, same handle, at Cakes by Blythe. Telephone number is 208-559-6180. Easy to reach, easy to message. Yeah, I would love to hear from you. I'm excited about all of the rescheduled weddings that we're doing so far this summer. I had several brides from March and April rescheduled to next weekend. Next weekend's a busy one. Next weekend and the weekend after. But I'm excited to see all of those weddings actually getting to happen. So that's nice.
All right, any attendees have one last question for Blythe before she goes? Okay. You can stay on there, Blythe, if you'd like to hear on, and then switch it on over. All right. Hello, thank you. This is the Idaho Dream Wedding, and this session is the cakes and desserts. For attendees that are attending, I will go introduce you over to, we've got Natasha with Gimme Some Sugar. And any questions you have, you can use the Q&A, and this video session time is being recorded. So at this time, I will pass it on to Natasha.
Hi, everybody. My name is Natasha Coggins. I am the owner and baker here at Gimme Some Sugar. I have been running my business now since 2013. When I'm not baking, I do work full-time at Bardenay at both of their locations in downtown Boise and in Eagle. I've been their head pastry chef now for 6 years. So if you have been to either of those restaurants, I'm sure you've gotten to try some of my desserts before. Before that, I have received my culinary arts degree from the College of Western Idaho, and I also attended the French pastry school where I got to work with some amazing artists and stuff in our industry. I also have had the pleasure of, over the years, to work with several vendors on some stylized photo shoots that have been published in the Rocky Mountain Bride, Marry Me Boise, and some other online publications. So I want to just kind of talk a little bit about why I got into my cake business. So I got into my cake business because I truly love getting to see the smiles on everyone's face when I make their wedding cake. Weddings are definitely my favorite by far because I get to be a lot more closer with my brides and grooms, get to know them, and customize their wedding to their liking. As opposed to when I do birthdays, it's a pretty simple transaction, so I don't get to be as detailed. I am lucky enough to be working in the field that I always dreamed about working in since I was a little girl baking with my mom. So once college came around and I had to pick what I wanted to do, baking just seemed to fit pretty easily. So I do know that with all the uncertainty that's kind of surrounding COVID, that I'm sure everyone's wedding plans have changed. A lot of my 2020 brides have changed a lot. They've had to either downsize their weddings or just reschedule until next year. I'm also planning my own wedding for October, so I completely understand like how everyone kind of feels a little bit uncertain, and I'm hopefully able to help you kind of make your wedding still happen, even if we have to downsize a little bit, that's just fine. I am ServSafe certified as well, which is a national restaurant certification. So that way you are rest assured that I do follow all of those protocols and stuff even in my own business, and so those protocols have always been in place and they will remain to also be in place. We will also be wearing masks and using gloves at the time of handling your orders, so that way it keeps myself safe and then also your guest. That will just continue until the time being, until obviously some of the restrictions and stuff get lifted. So some of the things that we offer, my job is to make the process the least stressful part of your wedding planning experience, hopefully, and probably the funnest because you actually get to try some cakes. We do offer a huge selection of different package options that range from doing a big tier cake to doing a small cutting cake and desserts for your guests. So pricing really does just depend on how many you need to feed and the design choice that you choose. Pricing does start at $3.50 a serving. We do also offer a full line of wedding desserts as well as cakes, and those range anywhere from pastry cream tarts topped with berries, a chocolate tart, mini cheesecakes, mini pies, and my favorite, which is our sugar cookies. So if you have anything else in mind, we can definitely find something that will suit your needs. Our menu is pretty extensive and we do have a long list of things. So if any of those options do sound good to you, we also offer take-home sample packs as well. They are just to be enjoyed in your home. And they're $10, and they are 4 different cake flavors and 2 filling choices. And if you would like, we can also sample some desserts for you too as well. They're just priced out individually. So also my availability right now. So we do still have a few 2020 dates available. But we are booking up pretty quick as a lot of my brides who are getting married in the springtime have rescheduled into the fall. So I have a little bit in September left and November. I do get married in October, so we're not available a couple weeks in October. And then we are also opening up our books for 2021 as well. So don't hesitate to reach out as soon as you know when you will be getting married, to reach out and get a price quote. We do book up pretty quick, about 3 or 4 months in advance for weddings. To get a price quote and to see our full list of offerings, you can reach me through Facebook at Gimme Some Sugar, or also on Instagram under Natasha Coggins, or by phone at 208-249-8189. At this time, if anybody has any questions, I would like to open that up and see if you guys have any questions for me.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions, Natasha. Do you make other wedding desserts besides cakes or in addition to cakes?
We do, yep. So I have a full line of wedding desserts that range anywhere from tarts to pies, mini cheesecakes, cookies. So like I said, to find out our full list of offerings, the best way to reach me is through Facebook or Instagram or by phone.
Another question, do you do gluten-free?
We do, yep, that's a good question. I get that one quite a lot. We do gluten-free. I am, however, not a certified gluten-free kitchen. But we do have that option for people, and whenever we do gluten-free orders, I make sure that we clean and sanitize everything and make sure that we're keeping that order separate from all of our other orders as well.
Okay, do we have any other questions from our guests? And also, Natasha, do you mind repeating the ways that they can reach you?
Yes, so the best ways to reach me are through Facebook, which is Gimme Some Sugar. So our sign back here kind of has the spelling because it's a little different than most people think. So Gimme Some Sugar LLC on Facebook. And then I also have an Instagram account that's under just my personal name. So it's Natasha Coggins. And then my phone number is 208-249-8189. We're pretty much available most of the time, so they can reach out anytime during the day. I know a lot of people work, so in the evenings work best for a lot of people. So I'm available to answer any questions and get you on our books.
Okay, is there an extra charge for a gluten-free cake?
There's not. Gluten-free cakes are still the same pricing. A lot of it just really depends on your design and such of your cake, and then how many servings and stuff that you need. So a lot of guests, like if they choose to do gluten-free, will just do either like a cutting cake or like a dozen cupcakes or something that are in gluten-free. So that way they still have the ability to provide that, but not all of your guests have to also eat gluten-free either. Some other like kind of fun things, we will be moving here in July. So my fiance and I just bought our first house. So instead of being here in Boise, we will be moving out to Kuna. So that happens probably in like the first week of July. So we'll just kind of have to bear with me once we get everything all moved over, but we're super excited. I actually get to have a nice cake area, not just our small little apartment that we've been living in for the last little while. So.
All right, we've got another question. How can we have a safe dessert bar that is self-serve?
So the best practices for that are to provide using tongs for everybody, or you can also have somebody serve your guests. That's what we do at Bar Dene right now. When we do buffets and stuff, is we have set it up to where our guests, instead of getting to self-serve themselves, they have somebody who's standing there and serving. So if you're uncomfortable with your guests grabbing the tongs and doing all of that, I recommend having somebody serve them. Or yeah, just make sure you have tongs and either like hand sanitizer or something that's out, so that people can use that as needed.
And another question on that note, can you individually wrap each piece of cake or cupcake?
So cupcakes we can. Cakes are just something that will be just like up to your discretion once you cut it, how you serve it. But cupcakes, yes, we have the ability to put them in, I found like a cute little way to just put them in like a little clear plastic cup with a bag. So if you are worried about anybody just grabbing stuff, that is an option to add those to.
And then again, we'll fill a little bit of time if you want to again say how to reach you so folks can get that information.
So the best ways to reach us are through Facebook on Gimme Some Sugar LLC. Also Instagram on Natasha Coggins is my handle for Instagram. And then also by phone at 208-249-8189.
And Natasha, do you want to spell at least your name for the Instagram so they can?
Yeah, so it's just Natasha, so it's Natasha, and then my last name is Coggins, so Coggins. Eventually, we'll probably end up switching to a business handle. I've just kind of kept it under my personal one for now, as managing everything kind of gets a little complicated. So Facebook is my main source for at least social media that people reach out to me, but Instagram has definitely became a little bit more of the avenue that other people will reach out to as well. So I still want to have that as an option for people.
Okay, we have another question. What kind of cake designs are popular now? And then naked cakes was a question on that.
So naked cakes, you still see quite a lot of those. I like in the last couple of years have seen fondant cakes not as really of a big of a thing as they used to be. Like I would say probably 80% of my weddings are usually like just simple buttercream styles. With Idaho, you always have the people who love the rustic look, and so they enjoy doing just like the buttercream rustic look cakes. Those are probably about 80% of what I did last year. I enjoy doing fondant designs. They're just not usually something that somebody ever really wants anymore. They are a little bit more intricate and you can do a little bit more things with them. Yeah, I would definitely say buttercream style cakes are really in right now. Dessert bars are actually becoming a huge big trend, which I love. I love the ability to create a spread of desserts, as like I am not a cake person myself. It's kind of funny, I do cakes, but I would prefer to eat like a pie or a cheesecake or something. So I really love getting the opportunity to create a dessert bar for people.
Okay, we have a question. How much are cupcakes?
So cupcakes, they start at $24 a dozen, and that's just with the buttercream design. If you are wanting like a fondant topper, like let's say like a flower or something added, then those become $30 a dozen. That's a good question. I should have covered that part. And then again, cakes are starting at $3.50 a serving, and then it just kind of depends on the design and how many people that you need to feed.
All right, do we have any other questions for Natasha?
All good questions.
All right, I'll throw one out there. What are the favorite desserts that you get to make?
So my favorite, because I just love to eat them, are sugar cookies. So they're like they're not like your typical sugar cookie. So they do spread out a little bit more than everyone else's, but they are like a super soft sugar cookie. I've made them for several years, and if they are out and I make extras, I can't keep my hands off of them. So, and I do, instead of using like a royal icing frosting, we do use a glaze frosting. So it's a little bit softer when you bite into it, but it still does dry hard to where we can still make really pretty decorations, but then yeah, you're not biting into a really hard cookie either.
Okay, question, can you do your other desserts gluten-free, like the sugar cookies, pies, etc.?
Yes, so we do offer that as an option. A lot of the desserts that we have on our menu can be made gluten-free. The only one that I haven't had a chance to experiment with would be our sugar cookies, but everything else, yes, gluten-free is super easy to change that over, so that is options for you. And again, like if you are looking to book, if you're getting married this year, I would probably reach out pretty soon. My calendar has been pretty full already, just with weddings that I booked at the beginning of the year, but then with COVID happening, we got a lot of brides who are changing their dates to the fall time. So if you are getting married this year, reach out as soon as you can.
Okay. Another question, what can we serve instead of cake? We are not cake people.
I'm not either, so I understand. So I offer a wide variety of desserts, anywhere from tarts, cupcakes, cheesecakes, mini pies. We do have like chocolate covered Rice Krispie treats. So those are options if you're not a pie or if you're not a cake person, sorry. That will give you the ability to create something really nice for your guests. I have done a couple weddings in the past where they've just done like cutting cheesecakes for everybody instead. So they just serve a slice of cheesecake to their guests instead of cake. So we have plenty of options for you if you're not a cake person as well.
Do you have a website?
I don't. So we are currently working on getting that all set up still. It's been a little bit of a like years in the making kind of thing. So for now, I just have just our Facebook page where I post very often and have all of our photos and stuff. And then you'll just have to reach out to me to get like pricing and stuff on your cakes and everything.
Another question, can you make a macaroon tower?
Yes, so I do macaroons as well. They're not something that I super specialize in, like the sweet Alibi, who you guys will hear from later today. So, but that is an option. I do make those as one of our menu options on the dessert bar. Mm-hmm. These are all great questions. And again, I'll probably just say this like plenty more times, but the best ways to contact us are through Facebook on Gimme Some Sugar, or I also have Instagram under Natasha Coggins, and spelling for that is Natasha, and my last name is Coggins. And then my phone number again for you guys also is 208-249-8189. Those are the best ways to contact us to get some price quotes and then see our full list of offerings that we have for you. And then again, too, we do offer like take-home sample packs for everybody. So if you are interested in trying any of our flavors, definitely reach out. We do those usually pickups on Fridays for those, and they're just a take-home sample pack that you take home and enjoy in the comfort of your home. They're $10, and you get to try 4 different cake flavors and then 2 fillings. If you also want to try some of our desserts as well, that's an option too. They're just priced out individually for you.
And maybe cover any other most common questions you get from clients. You got, let's see, 3 more minutes if you have a couple.
I would say my most common questions, again, are just like, do you do anything other than cake? We do. We have all the desserts and things that we offer. We do delivery all over the Treasure Valley as well. That's one that always gets kind of brought up is like, do you deliver and also set up? We do. So it's just charged based on the location. It's usually ranges anywhere from 35 to 100. 100 would be if you're like getting married up in McCall area, and 35 is usually what it would be to cover my delivery fee for here in the Treasure Valley. And then some other questions that we get, especially with COVID that's been happening, if let's say you guys book for 150 people, but then your guest list gets dwindled down to only 50, you have up until 2 weeks before your wedding to make any changes. So that way, if something does happen and let's say you have to downsize, or if your wedding gets even bigger than you think it is, when you originally book, we can always add more things later or take away things because your remaining balance is due the week before your wedding. So that gives you the option 2 weeks before to make any changes.
And then here's a question, can I pick up the cake to avoid the fee?
Yep, you sure can. So you just have to sign my little liability waiver as just to protect both of us. And yes, I do help you make sure that it's secure in your car and make sure that you have instructions on how to transport it and keep it from melting or anything, especially in the summer when it's getting hotter outside. So we do provide instructions for when you take it yourself. And yes, that is totally an option. That way, if you don't want to pay the delivery fee, that's just fine too. A lot of people will do that, like if they are getting married up in McCall, so that way you can kind of avoid that extra $100 fee for me driving up there for you. And most of the time when people do that, the best way I would say to transport your cake is to either make sure your car is like extremely chilled with AC the whole entire drive up, or the way that I transport all of our cakes up to McCall is I have bought some really nice styrofoam coolers online. And so I'll stick your cake in there with an ice pack and drive it up that way. And that way it's like always cold the whole entire way drive, especially in the hot summertime, especially in like July and August when it gets up to like the hundreds. Cakes do not love heat. So if you plan to transport it yourself, I definitely recommend trying to figure out a way to have it in a cooler or a way to keep it safe and chilled the whole time.
Okay, 1 more minute. Any last minute questions?
And then I'll say the best ways to contact us again, so that way you have it here at the end of the video. So I am on Facebook at Gimme Some Sugar LLC, also on Instagram under Natasha Coggins, and also by phone at 208-249-8189. The best ways to contact me are all three of those. Instagram, I probably don't check as often as Facebook and my phone, but I will get back to you if you message me on Instagram as well. So that gives you some options to reach out. I really do hope that we get to help you guys. And if you guys have any other questions or want to see what we have to offer, feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Natasha, for your time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, now we are with the Idaho Dream Wedding, and this is the desserts, cakes and desserts section. This is a video that will be recorded, and for our guests that are viewing, you can ask any questions using the Q&A button towards the bottom, and I myself will moderate and read those questions for Darcy. And now I put this off. Sorry, Darcy. I'll share my screen. And we'll now introduce Darcy with Miss Darcy's Bake Shop. All right. Can you hear me okay, Darcy?
I can hear you.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, are we done? We're ready. Yay! Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. It's fantastic to see you at our virtual wedding show. We love sharing our skills, our questions and answers with people, just kind of give you some information about different ideas for your wedding and other special occasions. So once again, I'm Darcy with Miss Darcy's Bake Shop. We've been in Nampa for almost 20 years now. It'll be 20 years in October. I have a commercially inspected kitchen behind my home, and that's where my tasting room is, and that's what you see behind me. And we have our kitchens out here, my office is here, and that's just a way for you to come out and see what we do and kind of do some tastings and ask us any questions. Like I said, we've been here for about 20 years, and we really just love doing the off the wall, the different types of cakes. You can kind of see some different ones behind us, a little more non-traditional, if you would say. A lot of questions we'll get from people are, I want a 3-tier wedding cake. Well, how many people are you serving? And do these folks like cake, or is this just going to be the ceremonial little 1-inch slice? And so those are some of the questions that your baker may ask you, because there's obviously different sizes of cakes. And one of the things you can do is to go online and go look at some cake serving charts. And I'm going to try and show you one here. And this is to do like a 2- and 3-tier wedding cake. How many people do you want to serve? And you can kind of see the different sizes. And a lot of people will just take a dinner plate and kind of estimate that way and say, oh, that's about the right size cake that I would like to have. Or no, I think I want to go bigger. And there's like a 4-tier. And when we get back to my office here, you'll see some of the cakes are 4 and 5 tiers. So that's usually if you want to go a little bit higher on your guest count. And rounded squares are about the same size servings. So one of the things I like to say too is depends on who is cutting your cake. That is something that we will do. We do drop off our cakes about an hour ahead of time. That gives us time to find out where you have your cake table, your dessert table, whatever you're working with, whether it's indoors, outdoors. I know Natasha was talking about the summer heat. So we tried to time it just so it's perfect before you are ready to cut it. We don't want it sitting out in the blazing sun for an hour. So that is something that we do ask our brides and people to do, is to have a covered place in the summertime. And hopefully tablecloths or whatever decorations you have is already there and ready to go. We do deliver to Horseshoe Bend, McCall, other places that like that as well. So that is something that we do offer. Our flavors are a variety of flavors on our menu today. We have, I will show you a little bit later, one of our new combinations. It's a raspberry and key lime. We do make our own fillings, and this is one of, we actually sell some of them too. This is our huckleberry curd. That's a great cake filling. It's good on top of cookies as well, but this is one of the ones that we do make. We make orange, lemon, and of course the new lime one. That's our newest one that we're offering. And the lime and the raspberry is really a good combination. People don't think about lime very often. In the summer, it's just great. And of course, the lemon curd, we traditionally do that as well. I'm going to try and share my screen here for some of our cake flavors. And this is, I can see, there we go. This is some of them. Our wedding cake prices go from $3.50 a serving on up. And like I said, depending if you want to go the little 1 inch by 1 inch, which is great. And if you want to go a little bit more than that, that's fine. We usually throw in a little extra anyway. But our occasion cakes are all the same flavors. You can pick any of these flavors. So some of them are vanilla, chocolate, lemon, orange. We use fresh Valencia oranges when we can find them. Strawberries. Our fruits we grab when they're in season in the summer, and we'll IQF freeze them in sheet pans. And so we've got our own fillings that we can make year round with the fresh raspberries and blackberries. Strawberries are just coming on, so they're really yummy right now as well. The curds you can see on the right-hand side, we do the orange and the lemon. Pineapple is really fun too. It pairs up with the lemon and the lime. We can do an apple filling in a spice cake that is really yummy. So there's a lot of different ways to mix and match different combinations, different flavors. Pink champagne is one of our most popular wedding flavors, along with espresso. And we can do an espresso cake or espresso filling in your cake. So that's always kind of fun. One question people ask me too is, I see all these flavors and I see all these, does my cake have to all be the same? No, you can have an apple spice on one layer. The next layer can be vanilla with a raspberry filling. So it just depends on what you like and what your guests will like. Do you like a buttercream filling or icing? Do you like fondant? There's so many different combinations and choices. And that's one of the things that you can see that we will do when you come in to do a tasting with us, is that combination. And because of COVID, we do ask that you only bring one person with you. So there's 2 people doing the tasting, because my office is fairly small. You can kind of see it's not really big right here. So we only ask that you have 2 people, and we will send you home with some of the samples too, so you can take them to your family to try as well.
Hey, Darcy,
does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. Is there a fee for delivery?
It depends where it is. In town here in Napa, we just charge $5. If it's to Boise, it's $10, and then outside the area, it is. So like McCall, it is $100. And we try and get there to outlying areas like McCall, Horseshoe Bend, about 2 hours ahead, just to make sure there's no traffic snafus and things like that.
Another question, do you do gluten-free?
We do. When we first started our business, we were actually a catering business, and we still do that on occasion. But about 12 years ago, cakes took over catering. So that's kind of more of our fun and joy right now. And our second kitchen was gluten-free for about 10 years, until you could start to buy some of the mixes and the frozen biscuits and waffles and things in the store. But we still do gluten-free. We do dairy-free. That's a popular one as well, and vegan. So those are some of the things that we can work with. I do work full-time as a dietitian, so I'm aware of some of these restrictions and some of the things that we need to do. That's a little bit different. Nut allergies, we're familiar with working with as well. So those things are not a problem.
Okay, a couple more questions. How much are your cupcakes?
They go from $1.75 to $2.50. Our Irish car bombs, however, are $4 each because they do have a whiskey filling. They've got 3 kinds of alcohol in them. They're a little over the top. We usually do a lot of those for Father's Day, actually, coming up this next weekend. But so they're between $1.75 and $2.50, depending if you want them filled or not and what flavors. And most standard decorations are included in that price, unless you want some really fancy fondant flowers that take a lot of time. So, yeah.
Do you do other desserts in addition to cakes?
We do. We're known for our pies. Our pie crust is kind of famous around here. We do a lot of pies for fruit stands. So we've done dessert bars as far as different flavors of just pies even. We can do cookies. We do like the big jumbo cookies, or you can do the smaller ones for like a little dessert bar. We do cookies. We'll do lemon bars, brownies. There's just a variety of things that we'll do. Tiramisu, strudel, some of the things you don't see very often. We'll do that as well.
Okay, is there an extra fee for gluten-free?
Yes, there is. It depends on what you want. It's usually on a normal, say a 10-inch, 2-layer just birthday cake or something, it's an extra $3. So a lot of times when folks will have a wedding and the bride or the groom is wanting just the gluten-free, we'll just do just the topper and make sure there's a good separation for the top, and then the rest is regular, so you don't have that extra charge for the whole entire cake just for that. Or we'll make a special cake just for them, or just for some cupcakes just for somebody special that's coming to a baby shower, bridal shower, things like that. So we can work with different ways to take care of that.
Okay, can those other desserts be done gluten-free?
Most of them can, yes. We do a lot of gluten-free pies. That's really popular. The cakes as well, and gluten-free cookies. So the majority of our items can be gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegan.
And can you pre-wrap cupcakes?
Pre-wrap, like individual wrap, yes, we can. We don't do it very often, but we surely can.
And do you make keto cakes?
We do. That's getting to be really popular. The most popular flavor in keto cakes has been the chocolate, actually. That's really, and the espresso filling, the espresso fudge filling has been the most popular combo, I should say. So that's a really good option.
Do you have an additional fee for delivery out of the Treasure Valley area?
Yes, we do. And it just depends on how far you want to go. Whether you're headed towards the Utah way or Oregon way, it just depends on the distance and time of year. We don't deliver to Cascade, McCall, too many miles outside the Treasure Valley in the wintertime, in like February, March, just because we can't guarantee that they won't close the road and we won't get there with your item. If you want to have somebody pick up something in that time frame and take it in your family or whoever's going to take it with you, that's just fine. But I just don't want to guarantee something that we may not be able to deliver on that time of year.
Is there a fee for the tasting?
No, we do not charge for that. We try and limit it to 5 different cake flavors and fillings, and we have just a few icings to go with that. One of the things, and of course I was snacking while I was waiting for y'all, this is a picture of our raspberry and lime cake, and I was eating some of that. But our regular icing is a super, really light, almost a whipped cream icing. We do put it under fondant as well, so we'll do a buttercream, but this is the really super light, not super sweet icing that we recommend. You don't have to go with that one, but you certainly can. That one is really nice to hold up under any different flavors. It's a good combination with, like I said, the raspberry, the lime that we're doing today, but it's great. We can flavor it different ways as well.
Okay, question, when is payment due?
We ask for 50% when you place your order, and that is when you book with us, depending on the time of the year as well. If you need a payment plan, we can work with you on that as well. Sometimes it's, I don't get paid till Friday and things like that. The really popular dates sell out quickly, you know, the June and July weddings. And now September is filling up as well because it's the new bridal season. So we ask that 50% when you book the wedding, and then 2 weeks ahead, we'll ask for the rest along with your topper. We ask that you come out, we'll go over everything again, make sure there's been no changes, bring your topper with you, any ribbons that you have that you wanted to use, any decorations, any cake stands that you want to use. We'll ask that you bring those with you so we can see and make sure everything's going to fit correctly. We do have some cake stands that you can rent from us as well. We have really fancy mirrored ones, great big large ones like a 24-inch mirrored one, which is really super fancy, to everything from the tree stump look. We do that as well. So there's a lot of different options for that, but when you come out for that last payment, we just kind of review everything just to make sure everything is looking good.
Okay. If my guest's number changes, do I have time to change the serving size of my cake?
You do. At that 2-week time frame, that's one reason we ask that you come in to revisit with us. If your count's gone up or down, we'll either add a tier, add cupcakes on the side. We can decrease. We can still keep like the 3 or 4 tiers that you had already wanted to keep that look, but we'll just go smaller sizes so that you still have that look that you're looking for, but you just won't be serving as many servings of cake. So that's adjustable. Just depends on what your situation is.
Do you ever work with dried flowers?
Dried flowers. We do a lot more with fresh flowers. Most of our flowers that we work with are fondant, most of them that we'll make ourselves. Fresh flowers are a little tricky to put in because not all of them are edible, so you have to be real careful how you put those into a cake. And we ask that your florist does not do that. When we deliver the cake, we will do that because there are some that are actually poisonous, and we don't want you putting that stem into the cake and somebody's going to eat that. So we'll do a certain coating on that and a certain way to put those in a holder so that you can have that pretty look. But as far as the dried flowers, we can do those just as well as silk flowers. Not a problem.
Okay, and then Darcy, can you provide contact information, how they can reach you?
Yes, we are in Napa. My commercial kitchen, like I said, is behind my home. So we're a little bit trickier to find, but my phone number is 208-871-2551. And we'll have a link where you can get some of our information, our cake serving chart, our flavors, if you'd like to have that as well. You can find us on Facebook at Miss Darcy's Bake Shop or MissDarcy'sBakeShop.com on the internet as well. And we try and keep those updated as best we can, but since I do work full time, sometimes they are not the most up to date. So give us a call, 208-871-2551. And if you need to Google us, just Google Miss Darcy's and you'll find us that way.
Okay, one last question. What kind of cake design trends are you seeing for this season?
Drip cakes are really popular, even though it's a wedding cake. Primarily, it's the darker chocolate, but we're seeing a lot of different colors on the drip. And of course, a lot of sparkle. People like the glitter. Rose gold is really, I've had to order a lot of rose gold dust because people really like that color. It goes with the ribbons and some of the pretty flowers that are coming in the spring. So those are the trends. The drip and that rose gold, it's a really pretty color.
Okay, Darcy, we've got 1 minute. So can you please repeat phone number, website, ways to contact you again?
You bet. Darcy's Catering at msn.com is my email, and Miss Darcy's Bake Shop on Facebook and on the web. And my number is 208-871-2551. And if you have any trouble, just Google Miss Darcy's and you'll find us. We'll come up. And like I said, we do cake tastings evenings and weekends. Just let us know what time is convenient for you and we'll set you up with an appointment. Thanks for coming to the virtual wedding show. It's been great. enjoy the other vendors.
Thank you, Darcy.
You're welcome.
Hello, welcome to the Idaho Dream Wedding. This is the cakes and desserts session. Just a few notes that this video session is being recorded. And for the guests, if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A button at the bottom and we will get those answered. I'd like to introduce Mihaela with the Dulcerella Cakes.
Hi, Kelly. Can you hear me right?
Yes, yep, we can hear you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to my virtual booth, which is actually outside. I'm glad the weather is kind of cooperating with us, but I guess it's good for you that you stay warm and see these amazing vendors at the expo. So my name is Mihaela Lesedre, and I am the owner of Dulcerella Cakes. I am also the cake artist, so kind of handling almost everything here. And I am so excited to meet you and to present my business. I'm sure that with everything that happened in the past few months, you have a lot of questions, and we are here to help and to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, like Kelly said, please type it in, and she will get it to me, and I will do my best at the end to answer all the questions. If not, you can find me online on my website, www.dulcerellacakes.com. So who is Dulcerella? Dulcerella is a cake shop. I make designer cakes. I'm located in Caldwell. I serve the Treasure Valley area and also McCall. I work under the cottage food license. I am insured, registered with the state of Idaho, and I also have a restaurant manager, food safety certification. So I've been baking professionally for 8 years, and everything that I make, every cake that I make is special to me, and I do my best to ensure that my customers are happy with what they receive. What makes me different and what makes me stand out? It starts from the taste of my cakes. I ensure that everything is fresh and it tastes good. All my cakes are baked from scratch, and I use good recipes. And I also offer designs, original designs. I work with designs that you might have, and also I like to design a cake that is specially for you. From the I can give you advice from how many servings you might need, depending on your number of guests, to delivery, to setup, to any question that you have. I want to make sure that everything that it's perfect, everything it's fresh, and everything is stress-free for you. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my cakes. I have a lot of stuff around me, so I'm gonna show it to you one at a time. I have a slice of cake only here. It's hard to not be able to give you some samples. So all my cakes are baked by order. I don't use anything frozen or from a box. The cake and the buttercream, it's everything made fresh. All my cakes have 4 layers of cake, and they have buttercream inside. I use all the best ingredients that I have, and everything fresh, fresh flavorings, fresh butter, fresh eggs. I use, for the filling, I use mostly Swiss Meringue buttercream. It's light and smooth. It's different than a grocery store bought buttercream, and it's not overly sweet. For a full list of flavors that I offer, you can find it on my website, and also more details about the cakes. I'm going to talk a little bit about decorations. I have some cakes around me, and I have some sugar flowers. I work in buttercream finishes and also in fondant. Depending on the design. I want to talk a little bit about the fondant because a lot of people are scared about fondant, or they think fondant doesn't taste good. And what is fondant? Fondant is a sugar paste that it covers a cake. All my cakes taste the same, regardless if they're finished in buttercream or in fondant. And all the cakes are, even with fondant, they're completely iced in buttercream before the fondant is added. Why would I recommend fondant? It depends on the design. Fondant gives a smooth, very smooth look. Also allows different designs that can be done in fondant, and also because of the color. Fondant allows a deeper color that can be easily left out and not be eaten, or also if you choose to eat it, it doesn't stain your teeth, because especially on your wedding day, you don't want to have black teeth from your colored buttercream. I also work in with fresh flowers and also with sugar flowers. I'm gonna show you some of my sugar flowers here. So this is a sugar peony. I have some sugar sweet pea, some calla lilies, succulent, orchids, and a rose. Why use sugar flowers compared with fresh flowers? When fresh flowers are not available in certain colors, or they're not in season, and let's say you want peonies in the fall when they're not in season. Also, certain flowers are toxic or slightly toxic, and there should not be placed on a cake, which I would highly recommend going with sugar flowers if you really want that particular flower. Also, I like to combine it, and it's very nice to have a sugar flower along with your cake topper as a keepsake to remind you later of your wedding. I'm gonna show you some of my display cakes. This is a two-tier cake. It's hand painted with green leaves, and it also has gold foil. So this particular one serves up to 45 people, and price-wise, it's $225. So this design and this size. I have another two-tier cake. This one has some dried flowers, and it has some folded fondant. This particular cake serves up to 40 people, and this design is $200. Okay, here's a three-tier cake. This is another one of my designs, and it has a lot of sugar flowers. It has ranunculus and gardenias. It has greenery, very light greenery, and it has lace embroidery design on the bottom. So this particular cake has in 3 tiers, has 60 servings. So for this design, it's $400. And I have one more. This is another one of my original designs. I don't know if you can see very well. It has some lace design on black, and it has some dried flowers and sugar flowers. This 3-tier serves 70 people, and in this particular design is $350. Do you have any questions for me, Kelly?
Yes, we do. So I'll just go through them in order. Do you do gluten-free cakes?
I don't offer any gluten-free options. The only thing that is gluten-free in my menu are the macarons I'm gonna get with my presentation there. Also, my kitchen is not gluten-free, so no, I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay. Is there a fee for delivery?
Yes, there is a fee for delivery, and it depends on location. I calculated by mileage. As a general fee, Nampa is $20 to $25. Boise, it's $40, $45, depending on the mileage.
Okay. Is there a fee for tasting?
Yes, I'm gonna get to tasting in just a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I do have a comment. You love your cake. That is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And I've got a couple more. Do you want me to keep asking, or do you want to go on to?
Yes, you can continue asking.
Okay. How does the Swiss buttercream hold up in the heat?
Oh, so that's a very good question because a lot of the weddings in Idaho are outdoors. The Swiss Maroon buttercream holds very well. I keep all my cakes refrigerated, not because they need to be refrigerated, but it helps with freshness. It's the safest place for me to keep, and it also helps a lot with the delivery. So I usually deliver a cold cake. For as far as heat, I deliver it very close to your reception, and we can talk where your cake table is going to be. If your venue allows, I can deliver it earlier, and it can stay in a refrigerator, but it can in a shaded area. It holds very well, and just not put it in full sun. Other than that, it holds very well. Okay, is there another one?
Yeah, one last one. Can I serve something besides cake? We're not cake people.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to continue with my presentation. I'm going to show some other desserts that I make, and then I'm going to talk about tastings. So what else I offer? I make cupcakes, regular size cupcakes. I make cake shooters. They're 3 ounces cups with cake. Some of the cake flavors that I offer. This one, it's a tiramisu flavor. So they're lady fingers dipped in coffee and layered with Swiss Maroon buttercream. These are perfect for outdoor weddings. They look very elegant, and they come with their cute little fork. For all prices and flavors, you can find it on my website. So I also offer brownies. I offer chocolate covered strawberries. I offer macarons. I don't know if you guys had a macaron before. They're very popular lately. And they come in different flavors and different colors. What it is, it's basically, they're different than the coconut macaroon. It's two, I don't know, I'm gonna get a little close. There are 2 cookies made with meringue and almond flour. That's why they're gluten-free because they don't have any flour in it. And they're joined together with filling. They're very flavorful. A real macaron, it has to be not crispy, not hard. It has to be soft, and slightly chewy, and of course full of flavor. Okay, then I'm gonna talk now about tastings. It's very hard to explain a taste over a virtual setup. But I offer tasting. So they go only by appointment. We can set up a time that is convenient for you and for me, and we can meet. For the tasting, I offer 3 different combination flavors from my list. When we can sit down, we can taste cake, discuss different options and details about your particular event and your decorating style. The tasting fee is $25, and I have an offer today. If you book your cake tasting today, your tasting fee will be waived when you book your wedding cake for orders of $300.50 or more. And this offer is good until Monday. You can contact me for this either on my website. I'm gonna spell it DulcerellaCakes.com, or by phone. My phone number is 208-371-7010. There's any more questions, Kelly?
Yes, and just for our guests that are asking, the questions come to myself as the moderator, and I'm just reading them. So that's how that Q&A works. So a question, can you pre-package the cupcakes or slices of cakes?
I don't understand if they're pre-packaged for tasting or...
No, to take, and I think more, for the safety too that we've got going on now as well.
So for the tasting, the 3 flavors that I talked about, they're come in the box. So they're gonna be 3 slices of each flavor. They're gonna be 9 slices each. I set up the tasting for 2 people. If you wanna bring more, if you wanna bring, the mother-in-law or a friend, that's fine with me. And there's gonna be the leftover cake is for you to take home. However, I don't offer the boxes just to take home, so only in person.
And then anything on pre-packaging for the day of the wedding if things were to be given out individually?
I'm not sure if I understand that question. If somebody wants to pick up cupcakes for the wedding,
it would be for them to serve individually versus cutting or having open cupcakes.
Oh, yes, so the cupcakes are coming in boxes, and they can be pick up if you choose to pick up. That's fine with me. Or I deliver it in boxes, not individual cupcake. If you want to have individual cupcake as a favors for the guest, we can talk about that. So I don't have it right now, but we can talk, and that is possible, yes.
Okay, and then we just got 1 minute left, so will you give contact information again?
Sure, so my website, www.dulcerellacakes.com. Phone number is 208-371-7010. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook, Dulcerella, or also Google. If you Google Dulcerella, it's gonna take you probably to any of my website or social media.
Okay, thank you very much, Mihaela.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Idaho Dream Wedding. This is the cakes and desserts session. And just for our guests to know, the video is being recorded. If you have any questions, you can use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Type in your questions and I will read them over for Chrissy so she can answer those. And at this time, I will introduce Chrissy with Sweet Alibi Bakery.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Chrissy from Sweet Alibi Bakery. I specialize in gluten-free, they're naturally gluten-free French macaroons. So they're basically a meringue-based cookie filled with various types of fillings. The most traditional fillings are ganache, buttercream, and jam. So it has a huge variety of flavors. And the unique and fun thing about these cookies is that you can match the colors to your wedding with any flavor that you would like. Since the flavors are on the inside, it doesn't affect the color at all. So I can match any bride's color palette that they choose. We do this in tower form, which is kind of like a big tower, or on a dessert table, or guests do this as for party favors for their wedding guests. Lots of options, and bridal showers are another huge hit as well.
All right, do we have any questions from our attendees? All right, Chrissy, can you provide contact information?
Yes.
Okay.
You can go to my website, sweetalibibakery.com, and I can also put it in here. And then, is there any place that I can put that?
I can, yeah, I will create, let me see if I can create a question and then put it in for folks to see. Oh, I will work on that. Let's see. I do have a question. Let me see if I can enter that any text in. I'm not sure where I can. But one question we have, what is your most popular flavor combination?
I would have to say strawberry vanilla is very popular, Nutella, and then the citrusy ones, like I have a really nice key lime. It tastes like a key lime pie, and creme brulee. Those are probably my most popular flavors.
Okay. And how long ahead of time can you hold them?
They can be frozen for up to a month, and in the fridge for 2 to 3 days.
Okay. Are you, Chrissy, able to type in a question on your end?
Can I type in a question?
Mm-hmm. With the question and answer.
I don't see
Q&A portion.
I see the Q&A, but I don't see the questions or the answers.
Okay, okay. That just is my role. So yeah, go ahead and just verbally repeat the way to contact you.
Okay, so here's my website. I just shared it on the screen. Perfect. I have a wedding section on here. Hopefully it's not. Okay, so here's an example of one of some of the towers that you can have. We can add flowers to them. Some of the most popular flavors again are the fruity ones like key lime, Meyer lemon, and then Nutella is a very popular one, creme brulee. And you can see here we have a very wide variety of color palettes that I can do to match any bride's color theme. Some lighter ones over here, darker. This little Christmas tower I did. And then these come in party favor boxes if you wanted to do them for your guests as wedding favors.
Okay, I do have a question. If you freeze them, how do you thaw them?
They thaw in 10 minutes. So you just take them out of the freezer and about 10 to 15 minutes later, they taste like they've never been frozen. Yeah, but you want to keep them in an airtight container in the freezer. You want to make sure about that.
Great. Can you tell a little bit about what got you started into this business?
Well, I had my first child and I always loved baking. So I always did it as a hobby. And then I had my first child and I had a lot of free time on my hands. 6 honey macaroons. You can get the box out here. They're one with the bee on them. Okay. You can get the box out here. Excuse me. So then I had a lot of time on my hands and I was baking a lot, but I was just doing like big things, like big batches of chocolate chip cookies and cakes and stuff like that. And I wanted something a little more delicate and a little more refined. So I looked up, what are the hardest cookies to make? And French macarons came up. So I decided to give it a shot. And that is how I started. I am all self-taught. And I just love doing it. There's so many varieties and so much creativity and so many options with these little cookies. And I also love the fact that they're naturally gluten-free. You don't have to alter the recipe at all for them to be accessible for any of your guests.
And then can you talk a little bit about tastings, scheduling and such?
So for tastings, you can do, I just let brides go to my website and they tell me how many flavors they want to have. They choose those flavors and then I meet up with them and sit down and taste those, go over them, and they usually pick 3 to 6 depending on how many they're ordering.
Chrissy, will you pull up the part if it's on your website or where and how they can reach you?
Contact. Right down here that says there's Let's Chat. You can go to that and that will automatically send to my email. Or if you go to the home page and you scroll down, there's a Get in Touch section right here where you can email me. So you can do either of those things. And then on the very bottom, there's my Facebook and my Instagram. You can contact me through those websites as well. So 4 different options for contact. And then if you go over here to more, it shows all the flavors that I have available at the moment. Sometimes I have requests for flavors that I don't have on here, and I can almost always accommodate those flavors as well.
Do we have any other questions from our attendees? I will ask one. What are some of the most common flavors and items that you make?
I make all of them quite often, actually. I have to say there's the most common one I make is the creme brulee. That is one of my best sellers. And then the pistachio and Meyer lemon. But I make all of them pretty often. Like I just recently had a bride choose just vanilla and chocolate for her wedding with specialty colors. And then I have another bride doing 6 different flavors for her wedding. So it kind of just depends on what you want for your wedding, what your palate desires, what do you want for your wedding?
Mm-hmm. And then do you have delivery fees, or what is your delivery?
So the towers, they are rented out, but I do not charge for that. So that just requires a delivery setup and pickup. And that anywhere in the Treasure Valley is $15. But I can do weddings all over Idaho.
Do we have questions from any of the guests? And for guests that just entered, Chrissy, do you mind sharing the information on how to reach you again?
Of course. You can go to my website, sweetalibibakery.com. On the very bottom right-hand side, there's a Let's Chat. And then on my home page, there's a contact form you can fill out that will send me an email. You can also contact me through Facebook or Instagram. Those links are at the top right of my website and at the very bottom of my website on every page.
And other question, what is your schedule and timeline like for weddings and the calendar?
Well, I do ask for at least a few months notice on weddings. Like I'm almost booked out for 2020. I have a few spaces available and I'm currently booking for 2021. We all know that there's very popular wedding seasons. So I do get booked up pretty quickly during those times, the summer, the spring, and the fall. So if you want macaroons or you think you want macaroons and you want to start looking into that, I do recommend contacting me, 5 months in advance or so.
Okay. And since we are being recorded, would you mind going back through the pictures of the different samples that you have?
For the pictures for the towers?
Yes. Yep.
So here's one tower with a pink palette. We have a little birthday tower that I did here. This is a tower with more pastels. We have some browns, neutral colors, a little more bright here with some blues and purples. This is some gift boxes. Here's another tower, a little brighter. If people have themes for their weddings or their bridal showers, like a watermelon theme, I can usually do designs. This is another picture of wedding favors. And then here's another design that I can do. Yeah. So lots of options for flavors and for colors.
Okay. Any attendees have any questions? Chrissy, how long have you been in business?
3 years. And I've been in the Treasure Valley one. Another thing I want to point out about the macaroons is that they are all natural. Aside from the food coloring, which has dye in it, I don't use any artificial flavorings or preservatives. So for like the key lime flavor or any flavor that you see, it has all natural flavorings in it. So actual key lime, Meyer lemon, tangerine, chocolate that I import. It's all natural and 0 preservatives, which is why they generally only last 2 to 3 days in the fridge, but they do last up to a month in the freezer. You're muted.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions from our guests? And then what I'll have you do, Chrissy, for this last part is just flip through the website again and then close with the contact information so folks have that.
Okay, perfect. So you can contact me through my website at www.sweetalibibakery.com. You can find info to reach me at the bottom left of the home page or the bottom right of any page. There's a pop-up box for chat that I get notifications for, so I answer almost immediately if I'm available. I have nationwide shipping. So I have a shop on my website, in case you're wondering what that is. And then weddings and events, you can see a little bit of information here about what I do. Some of the, I got the second runner-up in Best Wedding Cakes on Boise Brides in 2020. And I was also featured on weddingchicks.com. And then there's here a little bit about me, how I started, what my passion is, why I'm doing this. And then, yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are on the top right of every page of my website and on the very bottom of my website, as well as my phone number. So lots of opportunities to reach out.
Okay, and then we've had a few new guests arrive. So you just want to go over flavors again and, you know, numbers and what you have for.
Sure. So as I was saying before, I can do any flavor and color combination to match your wedding theme. Here are the flavors that I have available right now on my website. These are pretty equally popular. The green tea, rose, that not as much, but those are my least popular flavors. Everything else I make on a pretty regular basis. Creme brulee, Meyer lemon, the chocolate ones, the Nutella. And then you can do any size tower. So the cookies are priced individually. They're $2 a cookie, and the towers, they adjust to how many cookies you want. So you can do a little smaller tower, you can do a large tower. The large towers hold up to 240 macaroons, or you can order them for wedding party favors for your guests.
Thank you. Any of the attendees here have questions? You feel free to write your questions down in that Q&A field. All right. Chris, you have anything else you want to close with then?
No, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this, and I am, congratulations to all you brides out there who are planning your weddings, and I hope it's going well considering the environment and COVID. So I'm wishing everybody luck with that.
Okay, we actually had a question pop in about flavor. Can you do a huckleberry lemon flavor?
I absolutely can, yes. Thank you for asking. Good question.
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Any other questions? I'll leave it open for 2 more minutes if anybody else has a specific question for Chrissy.
And just as a reminder, these are naturally gluten-free. The recipe does not need to be altered at all. They're made with almond flour and meringue. It's a meringue-based cookie, so they're kind of crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside, and then filled with either ganache, jam, or buttercream.
And then you want to touch on your schedule again, so you have that.
Scheduling, I do suggest that you reach out to me at least a couple months in advance. I have a couple spots left for 2020, but I'm pretty booked up. And then 2021, I am currently booking for that wedding season as well. So if you're interested, get in touch with me via my website, Instagram, Facebook, or you can call me and we can set up a tasting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chrissy, very much for your time. And thank you to all our Idaho Dream Wedding guests for attending the Cakes and Desserts session. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. You too.